Today's recipe calls for cream cheese. I'm going to show you how to make heart-shaped red velvet pancakes with a cream cheese frosting. Make these for your boo nasty on Valentine's Day for breakfast because you're better than everybody and you're not going to buy one of those cheap boxes of chocolate. So with that said, let's get started.
The first thing we're going to do is mix all of our dry ingredients together. So in a medium-sized mixing bowl, you're going to sift together 2 1/3 cup of all-purpose flour, 2 teaspoons of baking powder, a half teaspoon of salt, a half teaspoon of baking soda, and 3 tablespoons of cocoa powder. We're going to sift all these dry ingredients together. This will help ensure that our pancake batter is nice and smooth. We don't have any lumps of flour throughout our batter. Once you have everything sifted, you're going to lightly whisk your face off to bring all these dry ingredients together. The next thing we're going to do is take 2 cups of room temperature milk and add 2 tablespoons of white distilled vinegar. And we're going to lightly whisk our face off to bring these 2 ingredients together. The acid in the vinegar will create a chemical reaction with the baking soda to help make our pancakes rise, and it will also help keep our pancakes really red. We're going to let this stand for about 2 to 3 minutes. We're going to start working on our batter next, so grab yourself a large mixing bowl and another small bowl. You're going to grab 2 large eggs and crack them in a separate container. This will help ensure you don't get any eggshells in your batter. After they're both cracked, you're going to add them to your large bowl. The next thing we're going to add to our large mixing bowl is a half a cup of granulated sugar. We're going to start to cream our egg and sugar together. I like to do small bits at a time to help ensure that everything gets well mixed together. Once you have all of your sugar added to your bowl, give it a good thorough whisk to ensure everything is nice and well mixed together. The next thing we're going to add to our large mixing bowl is 1/3 cup of melted unsalted butter. You want to ensure that your butter has slightly cooled down and it's not super hot, because if it's super hot, you're going to end up making scrambled eggs in your bowl, and we're trying to make pancakes, not eggs today. Now that you have all of your butter in your bowl, you're going to whisk your face off to bring all 3 of these ingredients together. Now that you have your butter, your eggs, and your sugar all mixed together really well, we're going to pour in our milk mixture and give that a good whisk and ensure that everything is one nice homogeneous mix. The next thing you're going to add to your mixing bowl is 2 teaspoons of good vanilla extract. The next thing you're going to add to your mixing bowl is 1 1/2 tablespoon of red food coloring. I went hard in the paint and added a butt ton of this food dye just because I wanted to ensure that we got a nice red hue on our pancakes. And a little pro tip, dip your measuring apparatus in your liquid to help clean off that food coloring. This way you're not wasting any of that red food dye. Now that we have all of our wet ingredients well mixed together in our bowl, we're going to start to add our dry ingredients to our mixture. You want to add small bits of dry to your wet ingredients, and you want to whisk as you add. You want to ensure that most of your dry ingredients are well mixed in before you add the next set. This will help prevent our dry ingredients from clumping up, and it'll also help ensure that we don't overmix our batter, because if we overmix our batter, it'll activate the gluten in our flour and make our pancakes really tough. So whisk until you can't see any more dry ingredients, and then add the next set. Keep whisking your face off until all of your dry ingredients have been added to your bowl and you have a nice combined smooth pancake batter. And a little pro tip for you, when you're whisking your dry with your wet, you want to ensure that you run your whisk on the sides of your bowl to help knock in all of that dry into your wet ingredients, and ensure that you're whisking from the bottom to the top as well to help ensure that you get any ingredients that are on the bottom of your bowl mixed in as well. And in the end, this is what your batter should look like, a nice smooth red pancake batter. We're going to let this set for about 10 to 15 minutes while we work on our cream cheese frosting. This will help let the gluten rest in our batter, and it'll allow all the air bubbles rise to the top and disperse. Now that our pancake batter is resting, you're going to grab yourself a medium-sized mixing bowl, and you're going to throw in 6 ounces of softened cream cheese. And to that, we're also going to add 6 tablespoons of room temperature unsalted butter. I grabbed myself a rubber spatula and started to smush and smash our cream cheese and butter together. The next thing we're going to add is 2 cups of powdered sugar. The next thing we're going to add to that is 1/3 cup of milk. We're going to do this in stages like we did at the beginning of this recipe. You're going to add small bits of powdered sugar and small bits of milk, and you're going to really whisk your face off to bring all of these ingredients together to start to make our frosting. In hindsight, this would would have been a lot easier in a stand mixer, because I went so hard in the paint that I hulked out and broke the handle off of my whisk. I guess I need to lay off the Wheaties for a while. And also to our frosting, we're gonna add half a teaspoon of vanilla extract. So you're gonna keep whisking your face off and breaking whisks until all of your powdered sugar and milk has been added to your bowl. You can also add different flavored extracts if you choose, or you can also even sift some powdered sugar and cocoa powder together to make it more of a chocolate frosting. Just a little tip for you. Now that our batter has rested and we got our cream cheese frosting made, you're gonna grab yourself a large non-stick pan. You're gonna throw it over to medium heat. If you want to make shapes with your pancakes, I find it easiest to use a squeeze bottle to do this, to make the heart shapes. And a little pro tip, if you are using the squeeze bottle, you want to knock it on your work surface. This way you can knock out all of the air bubbles so we don't have a blowout when we go to squeeze out our pancake batter. Now that our pan is nice and hot, grabbed a neutral tasting oil, gave our pan a few driblets of the oil, and grabbed a paper towel and greased our whole pan with our oil. Now that the pan is nice and well greased, you're going to grab your squeeze bottle and start to squeeze out your pancake batter into a heart shape. You're going to do the outline of your heart first, and then you're going to slowly fill in the center of your heart with your pancake batter. Starting on the outside of the heart first will help ensure that the outside starts to cook first, which will help hold in all the batter in the center. I'm really not good at making hearts, so hopefully you're better than I am. If you don't want to use oil for this, you can also use butter. The only thing is butter has a low smoke point, so the milk fats will start to brown in our butter, which in turn will brown our pancakes and will lose that red hue that we were going for. You can use clarified butter for this, but even though it's your boo thing, I wouldn't waste clarified butter on something like this. And a little pro tip for you, throw your cooked pancakes on a plate or a half sheet tray and cover them with a towel. This will keep your pancakes nice and warm, and it'll also keep them nice and tender and fluffy and moist. This way when you go to eat them, they're perfect. You can make your pancakes as big as you would like or as small as you would like. I found it easier to fill the center of our pancake from side to side. This helped ensure that I covered everything really well and that I connected all the pancake batter lines. This way I didn't have a giant hole in the center of our pancake. Of course, if there's any holes, just go ahead and fill them up with your batter. You're gonna cook the first side of your pancake anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes, or until a small amount of bubbles start to form on the top of your pancake, like so. And you're gonna give it the old flippy floppy and flip it over and cook that other side for an additional 2 to 3 minutes until your pancake is thoroughly cooked through. So a little pro tip for you, if you get a little too eager and try to give your pancake the old flippy floppy before it's ready, you get a bunch of pancake batter on your spatula, which tends to start to gum up and it'll prevent you from getting that sweet pancake flip. I found it best to rub your spatula on the side of your pan. This way it'll knock off all the uncooked batter and will help ensure that you don't get any uncooked batter on your cooked pancakes and you can get that sweet flip, bruh. If you're using a squeeze bottle like I am and you start to run low on batter, to help knock the batter to the tip of your squeeze bottle is to take your finger and cover the tip of your bottle and to throw it towards the ground. This will help shift all the batter to the tip. This way you don't get any blowouts with a bunch of air when you go to squeeze it out in your pan. Or you can do the Subway thing and knock it on your work surface and make a huge mess. Grab your best chinaware and start to create a short stack of pancakes for your shorty. Use the best looking ones so you can get those extra brownie points. It looks something like so. Then grab your cream cheese frosting and start to frost up your pancakes. And you can add whatever you want to your pancakes. Maybe add some fresh cut strawberries or any type of fresh fruit like raspberries or blueberries or whatever your boo nasty is into. I garnished my short stack with some shaved chocolate, which goes really well with Valentine's Day. And in the end, this is what your pancakes should look like. Go ahead, dig in, and you're not sleeping on the couch this year, so you're welcome.
Alright, now that our pancakes are done, let's give them the old tasteroo. So right off the bat, I told you I was going to show you how to make red velvet heart-shaped pancakes. I didn't say they were going to come out super pretty. They're slightly ugly, but that's okay, because that just means they come from the heart. No pun intended. Smart people jokes. That's good. Anyways, let's check them out. So they came out nice and bright red, and then the nice contrasting color from our cream cheese frosting makes them pop even more. Then that little shaved chocolate on top adds even more spiciness and makes it look more aesthetically pleasing. So let's give them a taste. These came out super delicious. They're not too sweet. It's just the perfect amount of sweetness in my opinion. Then the cocoa powder in the batter shines through really well and it brings a lot of flavor to the table. Then that vanilla extract is a nice little hint as well that pairs really well with our cocoa powder. And the batter itself is also nice and rich from the egg and sugar mixture. Then the cream cheese frosting on the top is super rich and fatty from the cream cheese and the butter, of course. And then cream cheese itself has that little tang, so it brings a little bit of a different flavor profile to the table. Then the texture on them came out super airy and fluffy. And then that shaved chocolate on the top adds another little flavor profile to enhance that cocoa flavor in there. Overall, these things came out really great, and your Valentine is sure to love these. Alright, that's it for today's video. This recipe is super easy. There's not a whole lot to it. And sure to win you some brownie points on this corporate holiday they call Valentine's. And you can make these hard pancakes as big as you want or as little as you would like. So you can go big like this guy, which that one came out really good. Or you can go all precious and tiny and small, make a little one like this. So it's really up to you. And I feel like girls from my middle school back in the day could make these really well because I feel like all they ever did was make hearts in their notebooks. I think anyways. Can't remember that far back, but yeah. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed today's video. Thanks for watching. I think I'm gonna go buy a notebook to practice making some hearts so I can be a lot better at this. So we'll see you on the next one. For that special someone in your life. I blanked out, bro. Shines through really well. My back itches. Too rich, and it's not too. It is rich, not sweet. Like, bro, what is this? That's not even really a heart. Or this guy, like, it's just a blob. Like, oh, shit. I'm bad at making shapes. I don't know. Oh well. So yeah, it's recording, yeah.